Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Hey guys, I'm back, and I'm back today with a vlog. I was going to do my Friday vlog as a question, Ask Marcy. But due to the events of today, I feel like this is a more detailed. I'll come back maybe next week with my thoughts on that. The question of the day, the question initially was basically who was I voting for, so I was gonna go talk about the election stuff, but we're going to do our conversation more so on health. I have my Sprite I had already started on, so it's like almost gone. So I know I didn't want to bust out no real alcohol this time, but I'm going to. So I went to the doctor. I'm gonna start with that. I went to the doctor for my regular, yearly checkup. This was like right before I fell. So this was like maybe when the sciatica stuff first happened, because that's when I had went to the doctors to get a referral to go to therapy. So while I was in my visit, they go through your like health questions and your family line and all that stuff. So in that visit, they were asking if I ever done a genetic test, and I haven't asked to do one, or it had came up before, like maybe when I was still in Illinois, but it was never like, I don't think they were supposed to look into it, and nobody ever came back. But I hear they move very fast with that. So next thing, I was like within a week they had called me to schedule it. It did take a long time to actually get an appointment, so I think it took like maybe 2 months to get the appointment, because like I said, this happened before the fall and all that other stuff, and my appointment was literally like a month ago. I went last month to have the testing done. So it's basically how you fill out this history of your family history, and you talk with a caseworker, and then they take like some blood and they run your blood work through genes, and during this process they kind of remove certain genes, and so they're testing the genes to see if you carry a gene for certain cancers, which is what I was taking it for, because I mentioned it, but I don't know if I've done a real video on it, so I'm just gonna give a really quick synopsis of my situation. So my biological mother passed when she was 28, which means I was probably about 5 or 6 when she died. So I was actually raised by my great aunt, so I stayed in the family. I wasn't allowed to have communications with my biological father because I was legally adopted. So she died of breast cancer. So then my grandmother, her mother, I believe died of breast cancer, but some form of cancer, and she was, I believe, 50. And then I believe her mother was in her 40s, and I got that part of the information. I had decided after I did a genetic test to do a ancestry test, so I'm still like pretty much digging and looking up information. But what I did gather is on my grandmother's side is what these genes seem to have like traveled back and forth, because I guess that would have been like my great grandmother died when she was 44. So their early age hits hard on my mother's side for the females, because right now the only person in my family that's older than me is my aunt. So from my mom and them side, it was 5 of them, and it's only one left. She's the only one left. So that kind of gets you through the history. My great aunt who raised me, actually died of she had a breast removed. She had both of her breasts removed, so she had the little thing you put inside to make you So breast cancer runs extremely heavy in my side. So it's a challenge, because when it run heavy and they die at early ages, you're supposed to start getting mammograms early, but they don't really like to do that. I believe you're supposed to start at 40. I started in my 20s because my mother died when she was in her 20s. So I started getting mine in my 20s. So I took the test to see if I carried the gene for it. So they did call me today with those results. So it's very important, I'm gonna start here, to go to the doctor and do these exams and these different things instead of waiting until something happens. Because sometimes you can wait and it could be too late, or sometimes you can wait and you know, if it's not too late, then it could be something. You don't want it to be like where it's really bad. You want to try to catch everything as early as possible. So I believe in doing preventive measures. So the results was that I do carry the gene, and for that, and along with other things, and they put me in a 60% risk factor for breast, and 60% for ovarian, and I believe the other one was like pancreas and skin cancer, I believe. Those were on a higher percentage as well. I don't remember the exact numbers for those. So obviously that put me in some type of mood earlier. So just guard my face. I just kind of went out earlier and did a couple of errands and just threw this on because I didn't want to scare too many people. But yeah, so that made me feel some type of way. So then I was talking to a family member, and they're just like, well, you know, everybody is going to, you know, die of something, and just because you have that, doesn't mean you're gonna have it. And it was just I felt like really negative. And then their ending was that they only go to the doctor when they feel sick. Which, I mean, I know a lot of people do that. I don't believe that you should do that. I don't believe that you should wait until you're sick, because the goal is to catch it before you really is sick. You want to catch it at that first stage. You don't want it to wait until your third or fourth, where it's basically aggressive or, you know, spreading or this, that. You know, you don't want to do that. I'm aware that no one came here to stay forever, but you should be doing everything that you can to stay as long as you can and taking care of yourself. So yeah, so obviously I'm gonna have all these different appointments with all of these different doctors. So they're all those are 4 different doctors that I'm gonna be getting calls back for to schedule to start doing a preventive. So my mother that raised me, right before she died, I guess it was more like her goodbye, but it didn't hit me that it was at that moment. But the last thing she said was to make sure you go to the doctor and get yourself looked at and checked into. She did die from lung cancer. And she has stopped smoking probably about 30 years. But I guess, you know, it still catches up from you when you're smoking like a pack a day or smoking like that. So, you know, that your health is you. You need to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And you should be doing all your preventive services. I know that sometimes life gets in the way and you got to do this and you got to do that, but you got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're not sending yourself to a early grave per se. But yeah, that kind of like hit me. I'm like, so you wait until you sick? Because some conditions you don't have symptoms right away. And you may not have symptoms, which is what she was saying. Some of those you don't have symptoms until it's kind of too late. Some of them they can do preventive stuff. Some of them it's kind of hard to test for or check for. So, you know, you do what you have to do. Right now, outside of the knee injury, right now I don't even take pills for anything. So I don't have anything that requires me to take pills unless it's like a Motrin, or I take a leave when I have sciatica. But outside of that, I don't really have anything. But a few years ago, like in my 30s, I have had like gallbladders removed. I had a laser surgery for that. And I had a condition when I was maybe in my early 30s where I just started bleeding. And I first was thinking like, okay, you know, women bleed down there when, you know, that time of the month. But it wasn't that type of blood. But at first I was like, dude, you supposed to go to the, I didn't know if I should go to the doctor or not, to be honest, because I felt like that's what women do. But it was literally like worse than when you have a baby and you know you got all that blood from after carrying the baby. It was like, man, worse than that. I literally was changing past like every hour, every 30 minutes. Like I couldn't even get through the hospital. So I did wind up going to the emergency room, and I was pretty much bedridden, which is, so it's good that I went. I was losing so much blood. I had to go basically be bedridden for 2 days until I could do emergency surgery. So I did have an emergency DNC for that. I'm low. I always had low iron. I don't really take anything for it. I think it's kind of like balancing a little bit, but I've always been at the low end of the iron. So I did go back again, and I think I had an ablation. So the ablation was supposed to, because apparently I didn't know that you're not supposed to have a period for a week, because I've always had my period for a week. So I thought it was normal. To me, it was normal, because always. I've only had one that wasn't, and it was my very first one. Every other one was like 7 to 8 days. So when I'm talking to the doctor and they're like, that's not normal. So they was monitoring me, which was probably contributing to my iron being low, because I was losing a lot of blood, bleeding those many days. So that's when I did have the ablation. But outside of those, I haven't really had anything else, like health-wise. I do just generally try to go at least once a year or once every other year to go to the doctor to get, you know, all the exams. But I'm just coming with information in case anyone is like thinking about maybe they should do this, or in case anyone has a history of something. It's an important test that could be done, and they can probably link you to different doctors to prevent certain things instead of waiting to like the last minute to go to the doctors. Your health is very important, so make sure you guys are going to get checked up and all this other stuff. So that's pretty much it, my little blog and my life update of what's been going on. Just on a side note, I did lunch lip juice, but I'm gonna have Serenity grab me a lip juice. Grab me the tray. I'm gonna just show y'all what it looks like. I lunched it on my other site because when this happened, it had me kind of down. I had some other things I had to handle financially, so I wasn't able to put my site back on, but I will be doing that tomorrow. So by Sunday morning, everything I should be back on my shop Beauty and Sense. In between, my backup site is beautyandsense.org. I did put these on there, so I did go ahead and make these. So this is the purple one. It is grape scented. This is the orange one. It is orange scented. And then this one is the red one, which is tropical punch, and it is tropical punch scented. So yeah, so I did make those, and it's on my beautyandsense.org. I'm gonna move it over to my shop Beauty and Sense hopefully on Sunday. Actually tomorrow night, but it'll definitely be up Sunday morning. Because I know it's been a delay. I think it's been like a whole month that it's been down. So I appreciate everyone that has reached out to me, and for everyone for your support. I really truly appreciate it. Hopefully going forward I have everything back up. I will be launching the back to school, which will be those pencils, and I'm thinking of doing the light bulbs again, but in a different like color, like with the little happy faces or something on the inside and clear. That's what I'm thinking. Those will be coming out next. And then those that did send something to Destiny for her baby, she's actually going in the hospital to have the baby on the 21st. So if you haven't sent anything and you would like to, the link to her registry is down below. But if you have sent something for her or to her or anything in that fashion, I am working on thank you gift bags that will be going out in the mail next week. So I'm gonna have like little baby bottle lip glosses that I'm gonna make. Those will not be on my site, so these are only like for the thank you thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to launch these or anything like that, but for now I'm gonna be making those. Some little candy little things I've already just picked up. I'm gonna do like a lip balm and a personalized like little dessert cup with like your name on it. So I'll be working on that next week, so it can hopefully get out by the end of next week. And then I'll be working on the pencils in the middle. So that's what I got going on, and what's going on with me in a nutshell. If you are new here, hit the red subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.